Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So this week I am super excited to show you what I've been working on. It's actually the dining room table makeover that I had promised in previous videos. I worked really hard and I finally got it done, and I really hope you guys like the result because I'm really excited with how it came out, even though as you will see later on I will show you what not to do and how to avoid some mistakes that I made, because if I can do this, you can do this. So I bought the table from Craigslist and I bought it for $75. As you can see in these shots, the tabletop was extremely rough looking. It had lots of scrapes and dents, but the major problem was it had a lift in the veneer on the top, and so I went ahead and tried to fix that. I tried to follow a tutorial online of how to get rid of a veneer bubble, and they said to wet it so the veneer gets pliable and you can lift it up. That part worked, but unfortunately the wood that's under here is like really cheap plywood, so when I wet it, it expands. So I've actually made this much worse than it was originally, and now I have a sawdust-like I don't know what they're just like flakes of sawdust now everywhere all over the table. So what the plan is now is I think I'm just gonna remove this veneer in this area, sand it down, and I'm just gonna fill it with Bondo because I'm just gonna have to paint this table. And the reason why I was trying to fix the veneer is because I originally wanted to stain it, sand it down, and then stain it like a driftwoody color. But I don't think that that's going to be possible, so I'm painting it white. So at this point, I was kind of disheartened because I really wanted to sand the veneer down and kind of get that rich, expensive looking effect to it. So I had settled on painting it, but then I decided that, you know, I'm just gonna chance it and I'm gonna see if I can sand it down and maybe fill it with a wood filler and it'll look okay. So that's what I did. I got a cheap orbital sander and I started sanding it. So I'm just gonna cut the happy music just for a second and let you know that this was a bad choice. Not the whole sanding part, but the sanding in the house part. I have never ever used an orbital sander in my life before, and a silly, naive me thought that doing it in the house was okay. In my head I was like, there's a bag on it, it'll catch the dust, right? So as you can probably imagine, it didn't turn out so well. There was dust everywhere, and I'm going to show you in this sad segment. So, in order to deal with this situation properly, I needed to gather the appropriate tools. Don't judge me, okay? It was a rough day. So after wallowing in misery for a little bit, I continued on with the project and I used my trusty old Rust-Oleum chalked paint in linen white. And I painted several layers of this paint all on the base. So the first coat goes on extremely streaky, as you can see, but the following coats go on a little bit better and a little bit better. I used about 4 coats on the base. That I did is I bought wood filler to fill up the hole that I had made by removing the veneer. But let me tell you about this wood filler. So I clipped off the tip as it says to do on the bottle itself, and I started trying to squeeze it out and it wasn't coming out very easily. I mean, some of it was coming out, so I squeezed a little harder. And I'm not the Hulk, I'm not super strong, but that tube exploded out the back all over me, all over the floor, all over the countertop. It was very interesting. So I just went with it and I just, you know, squeezed it out of the place where it exploded and continued on. Basically, you just want to spread it out and kind of lay it flat over it and let it dry before sanding it down. Now, while it was drying, I decided to tape off the wood table so I could paint the edge in white. And then once the wood filler was dry, I went ahead and sanded that down and tried to make it as seamless as possible. I was trying to make it look more like a knot and less like a gigantic hole in the table. You also want to try to go with the wood grain because that'll cause marks in your table if you don't. I then peeled off the tape. But actually, let's do this tape peeling some justice. You're welcome. So, in the next step, I took Minwax water-based polyacrylic and I finished off the top of the table as well as the sides in this. And the most amazing thing happened when I added the polyacrylic to the top of the wood table.
This magic moment, so different and so new, was like any other until I kiss you. Happened.
I promise that's the last musical tidbit that I will put in this video. But in all seriousness, I applied the polyacrylic to the rest of the table. I would show you the bottom part, but it literally looks like I'm just brushing nothing onto the white paint. But in this shot, you can see that I'm applying the polyacrylic with the grain. And you really don't have to do that on the tabletop because it'll dry flat anyway. I applied 3 coats on the tabletop and only 1 on the rest of the table. In between the coats, I did sand with a 400 grit sandpaper. And here is the completed table. It turned out amazing. I'm really happy with it, and I can't wait for you guys to see how the chairs are coming along. I'm sure you got a sneak peek in the previous clips. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it this week. I'm trying to open it more and be more of myself and less like rigid. I hope that you guys enjoy my sense of humor that I'm trying to implement in this. Let me know if you do, or if you kind of miss the like old, just more tutorial based videos. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!